So back again with another video about season 7 Love Island episode 25, I think 24, 25, can't really remember. And last night's episode had a lot going on, so I'm just gonna jump like straight into it, because it was a lot. And per usual, I have my notes, right? Because we have a lot to talk about. I had a lot of thoughts, and I'm the kind of person that watching a movie with me or a show literally sucks because I yap the entire time. I'm always talking. And so you best believe I was pausing every second to overanalyze the scene. So I have a lot of thoughts. So let's just jump straight into it because it's like 3 pages here. So first of all, it starts off with the drama from the night before, with Huda and Shelly and that whole thing. And first of all, I can't remember. I think it was Sierra, Alandra, and Shelly that were having all 3 of them were having a conversation, and I think Sierra asked Alandra. She was so where are you? Where are you when it comes to what do you want to do? Do you want to stick with Taylor or what are you doing? And then Alandra was yeah, I'm ready to explore. And she was because my question is, why do I keep on investing time into you? And in that moment, I had to pause I had to pause and be yeah, why do you do that? Why do you keep investing time in the same man who has literally told you, I've never felt this way about another girl? It would be different if he told the guys, but he's literally told you, I've never felt this way about anybody before. What more is there? What other, I know she's looking for closure because she's why? How could all we had in 3 weeks be done in 3 days? That's because he never liked you. And I hate to say this because don't get me wrong, I'm a girl's girl. I love Alandra. I love my girls in the villa. But in fact, she's actually my favorite. Although this behavior with Taylor is starting to piss me off, okay? Settle down, right? But when she said that, I was yeah, why do you keep investing in this man? Why? Well, America, as a nation, we're wondering, why do you keep investing in the same man who's told you time and time again that he's never felt the same way about anybody, and that he feels this is the girl for me, and that he felt a spark immediately they had a conversation? Why do you keep investing in him is my question. Why do you? That's what we're all wondering. And so when she said that, I was okay, next. I'm tired. Every single time I hear her say Taylor, I'm tired because what other, babes, the case is closed. You're looking for closure. The case is closed. Move on, right? Move on. Anywho, moving on to the next thing on my notes. She really pisses me off because I'm why do you keep giving this man time of day? Especially whenever last episode, they all found out that his heart rate rose the most with her. In that moment, I literally paused and sighed because I knew that she would take this and run with it. I knew that she was going to take this information and be well, I made his heart race. So why isn't it with me? How can you? Someone can make your heart race, but that doesn't mean they want to wife you. Okay? Just because your heart is racing doesn't mean they want to go to the altar with you. That's actually the thing we're talking about. It's not about who's attractive and who's not attractive. Is who do you feel you have the closest connection to? And it's not you, Alandra. It's not. I'm sorry to say that, but it's not, okay? So yeah, we all are wondering the same thing. Why do you keep investing in this man? Because we don't know. And it would be different if he was fine, but okay. Moving on. I'm so tired of the show. But anyway, so moving on to the conversation with Shelly and Huda, which I find it crazy that what Shelly told her versus what she then decided to tell the other girls is insane. Because Shelly literally said, hey, like, and she said it, and like, I think what she did was actually like mature. I saw some people in the comments being like, or on TikTok being like, no, shut up. I actually think what Shelly did was mature, because look, when you're in the heat of the moment, you can say things that you regret in the future. Okay, so as a smart person, what's smart to do? And this is something that we all should do. If you know that you're really pissed off, this is not a time to have a conversation. This is not a time to have a conversation. This is a time to go back, reflect on what just happened, go through through chapter, and decide what you want to do, and then go have a conversation. Okay, and this is exactly why y'all always get into arguments, because in the heat of the moment you want to argue. That's not how it works. Some things, yes, in the heat of the moment you need to deal with them, and some things it's better to just go back, reflect, and then talk about it. So I think what she did was very mature. And I'm a certain kind of person, like, if I'm upset with somebody, like, I'm like, okay, give me a break, and then I'll talk to you like when I'm feeling better, because right now I feel as though like I can't articulate myself well. I feel like I'm gonna scream, I'm gonna yell, and I don't want to do that. So give me some time and I'll come back and talk to you. That's what she said. And it's so crazy to me that Huda said, she literally said, yeah, I understand, and then turned around and said she doesn't want to talk to me. Yeah, she said she doesn't want to talk to me at all. That is not what she said. That is not what she said. And I find it funny that everybody was coming at Andrina for twisting Huda's word, but when Huda twists Shelly's word, oh, it's okay, oh, it's fine, because Huda makes a mistake, oh, it's okay, it's fine. Any other girl in the villa makes a mistake, oh my gosh, she should be burnt at the stake, ban her. Yeah, I find that very hypocritical. And that's the reason why I still stand 10 toes behind Shelly, because if y'all can stand 10 toes behind Huda despite all the mistakes she's made, don't come at me for standing 10 toes behind Shelly, because that's what I'm going to do. But I found what she did very mature. And yeah, I'm irritated that Huda decided to twist her words and make it seem like, oh, she doesn't want to talk to me at all, which is not what she said. That's not what she said. She said, I don't want to talk to you right now. Let's talk tomorrow. Okay, and then she didn't want to pull out for a chat because she said she doesn't want to talk to me at all. That's not what she said, Huda. Are you dumb? That's not what she said. She said, let's talk tomorrow. And also, when Shelly brought out in her confessional that, when Huda kept like turning to her and be like, are you okay, Shelly? I'm sorry, Shelly. Like, it was pissing her off. I 100% get that, because I'm also the kind of person that if I'm upset with you, I don't want you to talk to me. And sometimes it's not even that like, oh, I'm upset with you. If I'm upset in general and someone's like talking to me, I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes I'm like, don't talk to me. Like, I'm upset. Why are you talking to me? Why are you like saying sorry? This is not the time. Like, I'm upset in the moment. So you're trying to play this. And also, I'm the kind of person that I don't like pity. So when I feel like you're pitying me, it pisses me off. So I get where Shelly is coming from, okay? I get where Shelly is coming from. And I understand that people have different styles of communication and, different like attachment styles and different things. But again, I find it very funny when people want to excuse other people's bad behavior. But God forbid someone makes a mistake. Oh, burn her at the stake. Yeah, I don't support that. I don't support that. I think it's dumb, and yeah, I think it's hypocritical. Okay, because if we're gonna have standards, let everybody also meet those standards. That's how I feel. So yeah, I get where Shelly was coming from, because I'm like, if I was Shelly, I'll be mad, because why are you saying, are you okay? I'm sorry. Why? I'm upset. I told you let's talk about it later. If I say let's talk about something later, let's talk about it later. Why are you still trying to talk about it in the moment? Okay, I get that you have a lot of emotions, but you are, again, what Huda said, sometimes I'm just selfish. You are. Sometimes you are just selfish. That is true. I'm glad you realized that. Now, if you would just do more than realizing things and actually work on yourself, it would be something. But all you do is have realizations, and that's it. Okay, and I'm glad that she realizes that, yeah, sometimes she only thinks about herself, because why are you only thinking about yourself? Okay, in that moment, if you feel like, okay, and I'm like, don't get me wrong, I'm the same kind of person, Yes, I'm the kind of person that, like, when I'm mad, I'm like, don't talk to me. But I'm also the kind of person, when I know I've offended somebody, I immediately want to be like, I'm so sorry. But I also understand that not everybody works that way. I don't understand. Why is it that we all have to adhere to your standards, but God forbid you take somebody else's emotions, somebody else's feelings into consideration? That's the thing that pisses me off about Huda. It's not the fact that she's emotional. Girl, I'm emotional. Okay, I was crying the last night watching Squid Games. Okay, I cry at every single thing. I'm an empath. I cry at songs, like sometimes, because I nanny, and when I'm reading to my kid, like, or not my kids, but when I'm reading to the kids that I watch and I'm turning the pages, sometimes those books make me cry. I'm a crybaby too. I am emotional. I cry at everything. With that being said, I don't like Huda's behavior, because I feel as though, because I understand myself and I understand my attachment styles and I understand how I deal with things, but I also understand that other people deal with things differently too. So I don't like people who seem to never read the room. I don't like people who are stupid. And Huda gives me dumb vibes, and I don't like that because I feel like she's stupid. Like, okay, you have your own way of dealing with things, but other people also have their own way of dealing with things. And if you can't realize that, that just pisses me off. That pisses me off, okay? It makes me tired, and I'm just like, tired. Anywho, so moving on from that situation, and now let's move into the conversation that Ace and Shelly had. And one thing I would definitely say is that I did find it, like I did, you know, I did chuckle a little bit because when they were having that conversation, because I love how Shelly was like, oh, I'm not mad at you, but I'm mad at Huda. And then when it came to like Ace's turn to speak, bro said, I'm mad at you. And that was what made me chuckle, because don't get me wrong, Huda is wrong, but I'm a girl's girl. I'm a girl's girl down. And I understand the principle on why Shelly's mad at Huda, but not Ace, because again, Huda was the one who set all these standards, and now she's refusing to reach them, which is actually insane to me, right? But I'm a girl's girl. I'm always going to support my girls. If there's someone to be mad about, I'm never going to be mad at my girl. If all my friends know this, if there's somebody to be mad about, it's never going to be a girl. I'm always going to be mad at the guy. It's always the guy I'm going to be mad at, okay? That's just how I am, right? And so I just found it funny how she was trying to be diplomatic when she was talking to Ace, and she was like, yeah, I'm not mad at you, I'm mad at him, at Huda. And then it was his turn to speak, and he was like, yeah, I'm mad at you, because why did he go for seconds? And I was like, yeah, because he's not even mad at Chris. I think ever since that conversation he had with Chris, honestly, where Chris made him look like his little son, I think Ace is chilling with Chris now, and so he was like, I'm not mad at Chris, I'm mad at you. And I fear that is the same vibes that Shelly should have given Ace. She should have been like, yeah, and why were you grabbing her? Yeah, why was something else rising? If something was to be rising, it should be Huda off your legs. But instead, something else was rising. And that's like the energy she has in the confessionals is the same energy I need her to bring when it comes to talking to Ace. Because I feel like when she talks to Ace, she's like, yeah, no. I feel like the same energy she uses when she talks to the other girls about him, the same energy in the confessionals, come to Ace with that same energy, okay? Come to him with that same, like, shut him down. What did Ella say? Shut it down. Shut it down. Okay? Because I'm like, why are you being nice to him? Don't be nice to him. And then whenever she wasn't nice to him, all of a sudden bro was like, like I feel attacked. I feel like my voice isn't being heard. Every single time I feel like a girl goes against Ace, bro's like, and that's the same energy Shelly should have had from the beginning with him. Not the nonchalant or the no. And I get it, sometimes silence is the best answer to like for a fool. But with that being said, sometimes you gotta be chalant. Sometimes you gotta be chalant. Sometimes you gotta scream. Sometimes you gotta shout. That's just how life is, okay? Like, I get it. You wanna be nonchalant. You wanna be chill. You wanna be like, it doesn't bother me. Sometimes it needs to bother you. Sometimes you need to scream. And that's fine. That's okay. We're all human beings. This whole, you have to act calm and collected 24 hours. That's not how we work. We're human beings. We have so many different emotions, okay? So many layers to ourselves. So being calm all the time is not gonna work out. Sometimes you have to let it out, okay? Which is why I'm loving the first look of next episode, because I'm like, yes, finally, we're actually doing things. Finally, we're actually saying things. Because like I said in my last video, they're all fake. I feel like they're all fake. Okay, so I can't wait for the next episode, because yes, finally, because this whole fakeness, this whole bond, this whole, no. If you're mad, stay mad. You don't have to be happy, okay? I'm not saying you shouldn't forgive people. I'm just simply saying, don't be fake. All right? So anyway, but the start to that conversation was definitely funny to me, because I'm like, it's so crazy that she was like, oh, it's fine. And he was like, no, it's actually not fine. And I found that funny. And also his face when Shelly was like telling him, oh, like, you know, the only reason why she kissed Chris was because like he was the only one that she had a connection with. So she was like, okay, why would I kiss anybody else when it's like Chris I have a connection with? So, but his face the entire time she was speaking, I was actually, like, I can't lie, I was cackling a little bit. I was giggling and kicking my feet, because it was funny. It was funny to me, because his face the entire time was like I've never actually seen Ace so mad, except for when it came to Jeremiah. But that man was like, he was fuming. He was like, that makes no sense to me. Like, he was actively mad. And so I just found that funny. But anyway, I wrote here in my notes that, like, you know, I see both sides, because, like, yes, you know, like, Ace did go ahead and kiss like a bunch of girls, and you know, he did the whole, like, he did this big one, like Leah said. He did this big one with Huda, okay? So he did go around kissing a bunch of girls and doing the whole like challenge and doing all of that, and then like he did like that whole thing with Huda that was just too much. With that being said though, you know, I will say that Shelly doubling back to kiss Chris was definitely a lot. Like I get where she's coming from, because look, this is where I feel like being like a mature adult like comes in, because like, you know, you can see like two sides to oh my gosh, y'all, give me a second because my leg is cramping up. This is what I get for sitting on my leg for like, how many minutes has it been? 15 minutes. This is what I get. This is what I get. My leg is cramping up, and yeah. Okay, anyway, commercial break. We're back to it though, because we're gonna get this video finished. All right, forget my leg, forget it. It doesn't matter, right? This is more important. Pressing matters at hand. So yeah. So anyway, so I see both sides. Like I get both sides, because I'm like, okay, like while yes, it is true that what Ace did with Huda was a lot, not a bit much, it was a lot. With that being said though, Shelly, you did double back and kiss Chris. So I feel like if we're gonna call, like, I feel like they both should have just, you know what, I feel like they both should have just called each other out, said sorry, and then moved on. That's what I feel like, because I feel as though they're both in the wrong, Shelly and Ace. I don't think it's just one of them. I think they're both in the wrong, and so I feel as though they should have just called each other out, like, okay, what you did with Huda was a lot and I didn't like that. Ace, I'm sorry. Shelly, what you did with Chris going back, I didn't like that. Shelly, I'm sorry. And I feel like that whole conversation would have been good, but no, they want to drag it out. And now this is where we're at. This is where we're at. And whose fault is it? Yeah, it's because I don't understand why that conversation was so whatever. Anyway, so that's that for that conversation they had. And then I literally skipped this part, but I love that Nick was very upfront with Elan, sorry, I can't pronounce that man's name. But anyway, I'm glad that he was upfront with Elan, because like I said, they're all fake, and I don't like this whole buddies with people. If you're upset at something someone did, call them out. Don't just be like, oh, it's okay. No. And so I love the fact that Nick realized that no, he's upset and he's mad, and he addressed it, instead of like sitting there and be like, no, I can still be buddies with Elan. No, he was like, straight up, I don't like it. And I love that he did that, because I hate when people try to pretend that they're not pressed about something, because you are. We all see that you are. So just cop to it, okay? It's, in fact, Nick has every right to be upset, okay? So because Elan, like, I know Sierra, whenever they got back to the villa, Sierra was like, yeah, I'm still open to exploring, but after that, she didn't really show or give like any signs that she was open to exploring. So I feel like Elan should have, like, you know, he should have got the memo, but he didn't. And so, but I'm glad that Nick spoke to him, because again, like, if you have an issue, just talk. I'm tired. Like, don't be fake. Don't be like, just talk. And so I'm glad that he was like, he sat him down and he was like, straight up, I don't like that. And even after like Elan, you know, explained himself and said that whole thing, Nick was still like, like, you know, he was still like, I don't like that. And that's okay, that's fine, because guess what, you are not obligated to forgive people. If someone really upset you, you're not obligated to forgive people, okay? You can say sorry, but that doesn't mean you should sit there and expect an, like, you know, an acceptance of your apology. But I do find it funny that during that conversation when Elan was like, I had no intention of making her breakfast, but you did. But you did make her breakfast though. You told him that you weren't gonna make her breakfast, and then yet you still did it. Because even if in your head you were like, oh, I remembered, you know, I was like reminiscing about our time in Casa when I was like making her C-shaped pancakes, blah, 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 blah. Even though that came up in your head, you still should have thought to yourself, but Nick just made her breakfast, and I just told him that I wouldn't make her breakfast. At least you should have gone to Nick and be like, hey, just so you know, like, hey, I'm gonna make her breakfast. Not as if like you're asking him permission, but just so you know, I know I said I wasn't gonna make her breakfast, but I'm gonna do it. Or you make the breakfast, you give it to her and be like, hey, I know I told you that I wasn't gonna make her breakfast, but I ended up doing it. My bad, bro. Keep it pushing. But the fact that bro was like, I had no intention of making her breakfast, and then no, you're lying. You're absolutely lying, okay? You're absolutely lying, Elan. Just cop to the truth, okay? That man is messy. Elan is actually messy, bro. Like, I actually want bro to get into a relationship so he can leave other people's relationship alone. Because bro is just going around doing things, saying things, and I'm like, Elan, shit, sit down. Sit down, okay? Okay, and then whenever he was over there, like, I'm not here to mess things up. But you are. But you are. That's quite literally the whole purpose of Casa, is to mess other people's relationships up. You are. Your whole purpose of being on that villa, your whole purpose of being on that island is to mess things up and to break happy homes. So I'm not here to mess things up. You quite literally are. That's the reason why you were hired. That's your job. Your job is to be problematic. Your job is to break happy homes, like I just told you. So that whole conversation, I just feel like he just didn't want to take any accountability. And yeah, he was saying sorry, but I just feel like bro just did not want to take any accountability. Like, oh, I'm sorry if you feel bad. That's also another thing I don't like people to say. It's like, I'm sorry for what I did. There's there's definitely a difference between I'm sorry for what I did versus I'm sorry that you feel bad. Because you're not copying to anything that you did. You're basically just saying, oh, I'm sorry that you feel that way. However, I'm me. Like, that conversation, I'm glad that Nick addressed it and put a stop to it, because what? And then I'm also glad that JD, whenever Nick and Sierra went on that date, that he was trying to complain to JD, and JD was like, bro, I'm being dead. Like, I'm glad that JD was honest, because I feel like a lot of them are not honest with each other. And so I'm glad that JD was honest and was like, bro, she's not thinking about you. She hasn't put you for a chat since. She's not thinking about you. She's moved on. And you should also move on. You should also explore, okay? That's what you should do. Because the happy home you were trying to break remained happy and is unbreakable. So move on, all right? So I'm glad that JD brought him to his senses, because that whole thing that he was trying to do, I was just like, are you dumb? Like, yes, she wanted you, but she doesn't want you anymore. Move on, okay? That's how life is, you know. You win some, you lose some. Just get over yourself, right? Just that whole... Anyway, and then back to the whole Shelly and Huda situation, because we're dealing with that whole episode. This whole episode was just super draining. I felt like there was just a lot. There's just a lot. And I was just like, bro, like, just breathe. Okay, just vibe. Just vibe, breathe, inhale, exhale. That's all you have to do. It's not hard. It's not hard. You're making it harder than it seems. Okay, this whole episode was definitely draining. It was entertaining, but at the same time, I had to pause so many times to be like, what? Like, my face, I wish I was like taking a video of myself the whole time I was watching it, this episode, like this past episode, because my face the entire time was just... Like you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, my face the entire time was just like, I'm confused, disgusted, and annoyed. Anywho, but so moving to the whole thing when Shelly was telling I don't remember who she was talking to, but she was telling them like, oh yeah, she said she didn't, I mean not Shelly, Huda was like, she said she didn't want to talk to me. She never said that. She said, I don't want to talk to you today, I'll talk to you tomorrow. There's a difference, Buki. Anyway, I do feel like the reason why Shelly started to cry in that like scene though wasn't, I mean not Shelly, Huda. I do feel like the reason why Huda started to cry in that scene though wasn't necessarily because of the whole situation with Shelly. I feel like the reason why she was crying was because Alandra like got up. Like, you know what I mean? Because I feel like she was trying to like, you know, because like they're like the main girls. Like they all came in together. Like Shelly, Alandra, Sierra, Huda, like, or it was Sierra? No, it was Hannah and the other one that I forgot her name. But anyway, I feel like in that moment, Huda was like looking for like that kind of like bond with Alandra. Like she was looking for Alandra to be like, oh, it's okay, don't cry, it's okay. And Alandra was like, I'm gonna go make my toast or whatever, and she left. And so I feel like that's the main reason that Huda was actually crying in that scene. I don't think it's because like of the whole yeah, she was sad about the whole Shelly situation, but I think it's mainly because Alandra walked out of her like that conversation. So I feel like that was like, oh, like maybe in that moment she felt alone, like, oh my gosh, like, you know, like I feel like she felt alone. So that one, you know, I did feel slightly bad, okay, because I did feel slightly bad because I'm like, I get where she's coming from, like, you know, like, because I feel like she really like, I mean, she was crying when Alandra was like, you know, supposedly kicked up the villa. So I feel like in that moment, the reason why she was sad was because she was like, oh, like Alandra doesn't want to talk to me. So, but anyway, but I do have to say, before we move onto like the next day, I do have to say congratulations to all the islanders. Yes. I have to do a round of applause. congratulations to all the islanders, because for the first night in forever, there wasn't any motions in those sheets. So I have to say congratulations. Like, because when they were, I was expecting there to be movement, but I think that whole like challenge, like the heart rate challenge, I think it actually knocked all of them out, and they were all like physically and emotionally drained. So I feel like we need more challenge. I feel like maybe after like the next episode, I don't think there's gonna be anything happening in the sheets, because I want them, because I feel like the more drained they are, the less likely there's gonna be, physical like contacts. So I was definitely 100% like, when they were like, I was like kind of expecting something. I was like, especially with Sierra and Nick, I was like, ugh. But I have to say congratulations for the first night. Y'all actually went to bed. Like, y'all actually slept for the first time. So congratulations to that, okay? Because y'all have been moving mad. So I'm happy that y'all did that one. Y'all did your big one, as Leah said. That was tea. Congratulations. But yes, so yeah, anyway, so let me see, where am I literally lost where I was. Blah blah blah. Okay, so I would say that like I find it cute that even though like Ace was like upset with Shelly, I do find it cute that like he woke her up, because when he woke her up, I was like, okay. And he had a smile on his face, like he woke her up, and I was like, okay, that's cute. And then whenever he went to the kitchen, I thought maybe he was just only gonna make food for himself, but he made Shelly breakfast and the flowers. So I actually find that cute. I can't lie, maybe I'm starting to like Ace and Shelly, although I feel like I'm a little late based on what's been happening, right? Or what just happened last episode. But I feel as though like that was cute when he did that. I was like, that's cute. And that's also mature, like maturity, because just because you're upset with your partner doesn't mean that you should now ignore them or pretend they don't exist, or like, like just because you're upset doesn't mean you can't still do nice things for each other. So I did find that cute, and not only cute but mature, that not only did he wake her up, he also like brought her breakfast with a flower. So, and I don't think he did that honestly, because I don't think he did that honestly just to get like her off his back based on the Huda situation. I think he genuinely did that because he genuinely wanted to. So I'll give him like kudos for that. Like, I feel like he did that because he was like, he could tell that she was upset. Like, he just wanted to do something nice for the both of them. So I like that he did that. That was mature. I like it. So that was cute. But I have to say, the look that Huda gave Shelly when Chris came upstairs with breakfast for the both of them, that was funny, bro. It was the same. The last time I saw that look was with Jeremiah, so that was extremely funny. I was like, wow, she is heated and she's mad. And I honestly I get like where Huda is coming from, especially like at the end of the episode when she was having that conversation with Chris. I do get where Huda is coming from, because I mean, it's not even like, I know Huda and her beef with pancakes. I don't understand, okay? I don't get it. Whatever is going on there, I don't understand. However, I will say that the flour for Shelly's plate, but not Huda's plate, was a bit much. Especially because in that moment, yes, was he still exploring Shelly? That's true. However, he was coupled up with Huda. So I didn't like that. I didn't like, it's not if I didn't like it. Like, I would have preferred if he had given them both flowers. I feel like if he had given them both flowers, that would have been nice. That would have been cutesy. That would have been like, because when Huda was like sad about that and crying about that, I was like, honestly, I would cry about that too. I would feel the same way. Like, if my partner did that, I would be mad. Like, not even upset. I would be sad too, because it's like, what is that supposed to say? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you give her flowers, but not me. Like, what is that supposed to say? And I don't think it's a thing about self-esteem or like confidence and stuff. I think it's a basic thing of like, like, that was a lot. Okay, Chris, that was a lot, right? And so I get where she's coming from. And when she cried, I felt bad for her, because I was like, yeah, like, I would not like that either. I would not like it, okay? If my man did that, I wouldn't like it. And I'm not saying that they're closed off, but that was just weird. I feel like he should have given them both flowers. And I know he's like, even his explanation to Huda, I was like, that is a half that is the most half-baked explanation I've like heard in a while. Because bro, you knew, like, the only reason he did that was because, yes, he was like, he wanted Shelly more than he wanted Huda in that moment. And obviously I understand that that was not a good idea to tell Huda that, because Hurricane Huda, level 3, right? So I understand why he didn't tell Huda that, but the explanation he gave was just like, I was like, yeah, no, if that was me, I'd be like, no. And then again, her saying, oh, she said she didn't want to speak to me at all, even though she said she just wanted to speak to you tomorrow instead of today. Well, whatever. And then the conversation that Shelly, Sierra, and Alandra had were like, then they were like, I feel like I brought this up earlier in this video, but anyway, I feel like they had another conversation where they were again asking Alandra like, okay, so what are your thoughts? Like, you know, like you had like explore, like, okay, you want to explore? There's Zach, there's Austin. I think they mentioned somebody else. I think Elon maybe. And then Shelly was like, Taylor. Why is Taylor's name still being brought up? Taylor? Like, when she said that, I was like, Shelly, please shut up. Love Shelly, but please shut it. Because why are you talking about? And this is why we have people who are still delusional. And this is exactly why Ace and Alandra stayed together for so long, because we had people like Ace who was trying to like manipulate the whole situation and telling Taylor what to do. Just stop. Let things happen, okay? And when Shelly said Taylor, I was just like, bro, that was so like, why did you have to bring up his name? That was so unnecessary. I was like, Shelly, stop, okay? Forget about that, man. Stop putting thoughts in Alandra's head about there's still an stop. That man, and even though I feel like every single time, I won't lie though, every single time he speaks to Alandra, I feel like even though he's like, clearly he's saying I don't want you, he's also always says something about like, I'm still open to explore with you. But that's a lie. I don't know why he keeps saying that. Maybe it's just for like show or something. I don't know why he says that, because I'm like, we all know you don't want to explore her. Just tell her the truth, bro. Even though he asked her the truth, he literally said maybe no one likes you and laughed in her face with the tongue out, and she was like, I'm tired of these people. When I say tired, I am saying fully tired, okay? It's almost over, and we only have one closed up couple. How? I don't know. And so that whole thing happened, and then I really I have to say, I really hope to God that they did not make Sierra and Nick ride their bicycles all the way to their date. Because imagine going on a date with someone. I'm glad that they dressed light, because why would they do that? Why? Like, whenever I saw them riding the bicycles, I thought, oh, maybe it was like for, I hope to God that it was only for a cool shot, and at some point they took them off the bicycles and, like, you know, got on a boat or something. Because why would y'all make them ride up that mountain? Why? I would be so mad. I hope to God they didn't do that, because I would be so irritated if that was me. Unless, like, oh, I knew for sure, like, this is what we're gonna do. But if I didn't know for sure this is what we're gonna do, and you're gonna have me ride pedal to a date, no, get away from me, right? And so then that whole conversation with Huda and Chris, which is like, would it be okay if I was ugly? I don't like that, because basically all I heard was she would do that again. That's all I heard from that conversation, was that she would do that again. Would it be okay if I was ugly? No. Because this is like someone doing something bad and being like, would it be okay? No, it would not be okay in any circumstance. No. The answer is no. Whether you are ugly, whether you are the finest woman on earth, right? It would not be okay. A simple sorry is necessary. That's all that's needed, okay? That whole trying to give excuse, I just don't like that, because it's giving excuses. Would it be okay? It's giving excuses, because it doesn't matter what she had said in that situation. Would it be okay if I was this? It doesn't matter. Would it be okay if I was wearing pink? It doesn't matter what she had said in that situation. Just saying, would it be okay if you, that alone just just crosses out every other good thing you said. Because why are you trying to make it okay? Because that's all I'm hearing is you're trying to make it okay. You're trying to, like, make this seem logical, but it's not. And I don't like it. So change it, right? And so when she said that, I was like, no, it would not be okay. Because why does it matter if you're ugly or cute? It doesn't matter. What matters is that you did something wrong. Stop trying to make it. No, there's no ifs and buts. I don't like to put people at that. Like, just move it on, right? And then Elon, like I said, Elon needs a girlfriend. He needs a relationship, because I need that man to just, like, I need someone to keep his mind occupied. That's what I need. I need someone to keep that man occupied. That's what I need, okay? Because I feel like right now he's bored. And even the way, like, when he was even talking to Nick, like, he didn't even seem buttered. Like, man was laying down, legs, like, ankles crossed. Like, he doesn't seem buttered to me. And so I need him to be in a relationship immediately. Either that or kicked out of my villa. Because I feel as though he just leaves, breeds, loves gossip, which is understandable, I get it. Sometimes it's great to share tea. However, with that being said, even though yes, it's great to share tea, with that being said, I do, like, I need him to get in a relationship soon, because I'm not liking the way he's moving in that villa. It's giving sneaky, because when he went and basically said what Amaya never said that. She never said that, but when he went to go speak to what's his name, Zach, and he was like, oh, she's saying that, like, you didn't pull her for a chat, and you didn't even, like, pull anyone else for a chat. Like, what he said, and the way he was like, I just wanted you to let you know. First of all, that's when I knew bro just wanted to stir the pot, because if he was a real one, he would have said, bro, Zach, I think you should pull Amaya for a chat. Like, not on some, like, I think he would have said it, like, how the way, like, Ace used to talk to Taylor when he came to Alejandra. I feel like if Elon was a real one, that's how he would have spoken to Zach in that situation. He would have been like, hey, bro, like, you haven't pulled your girl in, like, for the whole day. Like, you should pull her for a chat. Like, you should, like, what are you doing? If you're not here to explore connections, go talk to your girl. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel as though he should have brought that up, instead of going to Zach and being like, hey, this is what I heard her saying, da, 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 da. Like, that was just messy, okay? That was just Mr. Messy Boots over there. I don't like it. He needs to get in a relationship that ASAP, okay? I need him to be locking lips with somebody else, because if he's not locking lips, he's yapping, and I don't like it. Because I'm not liking what's coming out, okay? So, yeah, I need him to get in a relationship, because bro's just going around trying to ruin happy homes, and I don't like it. And then we saw Zach and Alejandra, and I was just like, you know what? At least she's exploring. And also, Amaya did say that she wants him to explore. So honestly, I'm just gonna wait for Amaya's reaction before I say anything on that whole thing, because yes, it is true that Zach was, and I said this before, the only reason Zach is with Amaya is because Alejandra was still stuck on Taylor when Zach wanted Alejandra. He wanted her. That's who he wanted when he walked into that villa, Alejandra. But she didn't want him that moment. But now I feel like she's doubling back. I'm not going to say anything until Amaya finds out and she voices her opinion on that. And then I'm going to say something, because I'm just going to wait. Because she might be okay. Because, I mean, she did say, like, she wants him to explore other connections. So we'll see. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But either way, Elon needs to either lock it in with somebody or leave the villa, because I'm tired. He's just yapping, and I don't like it. I don't like what's coming out of his mouth. I don't like it. And yeah, so that was basically, I think, the entire episode. Yeah, we ended up with Shelly and Ace, like, Shelly walking away from the conversation, and then, like, they had a conversation, but it did not end up good. So we had that. Chris and Huda. Chris said he's done pursuing Shelly, which I feel bad for Shelly, because I'm like, I honestly don't feel like she deserves this, honestly, at all. Like, I do feel bad for her, because again, my thing is, if other people are allowed to make mistakes, then other people should be allowed to make mistakes. That's how I feel. I feel like we should all be allowed to make mistakes. And so I don't like hypocrites. I don't like hypocrites, not one bit. Okay, if you're gonna give someone else grace, then everybody else should get grace. That's how it works. If you're not gonna give them grace, then yeah, I understand not giving. Like, that's how I feel. And that's how I feel for all the Huda apologists out there. Because don't get me wrong, especially what I said today, you cannot come at me and say, oh, I just don't like Huda. Because no, I actually defended her today, which is crazy, right? However, I don't like Huda apologists, because I feel as though they tear down other girls. First of all, the things I'm seeing them say about like their looks, and I feel like I don't like Huda apologists because they claim to be girls, and yet they are only lifting up Huda by tearing down the other girls, and also they have given Huda the grace that they refuse to give to the other girls, and I don't like that. I don't like that behavior, because if Huda can still remain in that villa and still be given second, third, fourth, fifth chances, then I feel as though the other girls should also be given the same second, fourth, fifth, sixth chances too. And if that's not the case, then shut up. That's how I feel about Huda apologists. And like, yeah, people are like, oh, why are you still supporting Shelly and Alandra? Because I can. Because if you can still support, if you are allowed to still support Huda after all the mess she created, then I can support Shelly and Alandra. That's my vibes on it. That's my vibe. Because you're not gonna try and attack me. Because no, I will use the same logic you're using on like why you're still supporting Huda. I will use that same logic to show you and tell you exactly why I'm still supporting Shelly and Alandra. Because we're not gonna play those games. We're not gonna play those games. I don't like it. I don't like it, because there's the thing. If Shelly or Alandra had done the exact same thing that Huda had done for 10 episodes, they wouldn't be in that villa today. They would not be in that villa today. No one would support them. They would be blocked, no brand deals, nothing at all. So the fact that there are Huda apologists out there means there can also be Shelly and Alandra apologists out there. That's my defense. That's my explanation. Oh, why do you support them? Why do you support Huda? The same reason you support Huda is the same reason I choose to still support Shelly and Alandra despite things. Because despite all the things that Huda did, you still support her. But now you want to tell me that I can't support Shelly and Alandra because of the things they did. Does that make sense? Because if you're going to say I can't support them, then you can't support Huda. I'm going to use your same logic. That's how I play games, okay? My philosophy in life is if someone's trying to come at me, I'm gonna use the same logic to come at you. That's how it is, okay? So I'm not liking the Huda apologists, and the Huda apologists are making it harder for me to like Huda, because I want to like Huda and I want to support Huda, but I don't like her fans. That's my thing. I do not like her fans. I do not like how they tear down Shelly and Alandra. I do not like the things I'm seeing them say about Shelly and Alandra. I do not like the fact that they're trying to cancel Shelly and Alandra. Meanwhile, despite everything Huda has done, she's not canceled. I don't like that. I don't like Huda because of the people who support her. The people who support her are disgusting, and that's why I don't like Huda. It's not because of Huda. I mean, she is problematic, but it's mostly because of the people who support her that I don't like her, because they uplift her by tearing down other women, and as a girl's girl, I don't support that. So, anywho, this episode was a lot. There was a lot to talk about. A lot going on. And yeah, you know, I'm waiting for the next episode, because I want to see everything break loose. Okay, I want to see everything break loose. I want to see people finally speak their mind, because I feel like this whole time they've been trying to play this fake friendship, sisterhood, brotherhood. Stop. Even when Nick walked into the villa and Elon was like, 5 seconds ago, what were you just saying? Exactly. So I'm not liking this fake friendships. Okay, I'm not saying that it's not possible for any of them to actually be real friends. I'm not saying that's not possible, right? I'm just saying that I want everybody to finally be honest, because you cannot have true friendship or true sisterhood or true brotherhood unless there's honesty. And so I cannot wait for the next episode, because finally we're going to finally get some honesty, because that is what is needed. Because everybody's trying to play fake. We have 20 people in the villa. We have way too many people in the villa right now. Why? Because everybody wants to be fake. Everybody wants to be buddy with. No. Sometimes some people have to get kicked off the island. Sometimes some people have to fall off the triangle or circle or square. Sometimes some people need to get kicked off. That's how life is. And so I don't like the fakeness. So I can't wait for the next episode, because I want people to finally be honest with each other, and to be like, this is how I feel. This is the truth. Because right now, the games we're playing, I don't like it. Also, before I end this video, side note, I forgot to bring out the fact that Sierra did mention, when we had to Nick, when we had sex, I felt like in that moment nothing else matters. And this is exactly why you don't have sex with people you're not in a relationship with. And I'm not saying having sex with someone you're in a relationship with means that relationship is for sure gonna last forever, because we see people who've been married for 40 years still get a divorce and stuff like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that is exactly why you don't have sex before getting in a relationship. That's exactly why. Because once you have sex, the chemicals in your brain, they start to mix. Okay? They stop working the way they're supposed to work. Your hormones, everything, it starts malfunctioning. Okay? And so that's why you don't have sex. Because once you have sex, it messes everything up. That's the truth. Whether you like it or not. whether I like it or not, because I know some people are like, oh, you can have sex on the first date, blah, blah. Whether I like it or not, that's the truth. The truth of the matter is, and it's proven scientifically, even proven. We've done social experiments. There's been studies that have been done. Once you have sex, everything, it stops to work. Okay, and so that is exactly why y'all should have not been having sex, but y'all were bumping and turning and doing the do, and now you're like, oh, that's why I feel like we're close. We're gonna see how these relationships work out in the real world. To be honest, I have no faith. And I don't think any of us have any faith, actually, because I will say I love how Chris talks to Huda. I love how Chris acts with Huda. I do love that. Although I am gonna say, Chris, do watch your back, because you're saying a lot of the right things right now. But I fear that once you make a mistake, Hurricane Huda, level 3. That is what I fear. I fear that once he makes a mistake and says the wrong thing or does the wrong thing, we might go back to crash out Huda, and that is what I'm scared for, okay? Because at this moment, I don't think Huda needs a husband or a boyfriend. When we're talking about like husband and wife, I don't think Huda needs a relationship. I think Huda needs therapy. I think Huda needs healing, like 6 months to a year before she gets in a relationship. That's what I feel, because I fear that Chris is a little too good. And I'm not saying he's a little too good, which means I'm not saying that, oh, I'm suspicious of him. I love Chris. I actually think he's one of the good guys in the villa. Like, I support everything he's saying. Like, I support the way he talks to Huda. It's so sweet. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like Chris is a little bit too good to the point that once he makes a mistake, it's gonna be a wild ride. Oh well, none of this is my problem anyway, so thank God. But that's it. That's the video for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah, and we'll be back once once my favorite episode at this moment. The episode hasn't even come out, but I already know it's my favorite, because I just cannot wait for the honesty. I cannot wait for people to finally start hearing the truth about what the other islanders, because they've heard about what America kind of thinks about them, but I feel like America is not going to be able to do enough. I need them to hear from each other, and I cannot wait. The drama, especially seeing Olandra go off in the first look, and then seeing Amaya defend herself, that's how I know we're finally getting places. And also seeing Shelly go off, like, we're finally getting places. This is what we've been needing for episodes. I'm not saying I want to see fights. Actually, all I want to see is disagreements. I don't want to see arguments. I only want to see disagreements, because you need conflict for a good relationship, for a good friendship. Conflict is necessary, and I feel like all these people are they just have a lot of avoidant attachments. It's not gonna work out. So I'm happy for the next episode. I'm happy that the producers, like, sometimes the producers know what they're doing, and I like that, and I would give them kudos for that. But that's it. That's the video for today. Thank y'all for watching. Like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'm gonna try and stop this cramp in my leg. I have no hopes, but oh well. Yeah, but see y'all in the next video.